And so remember, for cameramen, less accidents require thinking. Okay, it's important to be aware of your surroundings. Man, I've not come here for health and safety. I know, you're at uni, bro. You've come here to get STDs. See, you're not even paying attention to me now. Who even texted with that information? Brother, it will be fine. Let me just type out this text. Okay, babes, I swear it's only chlamydia this time, so don't worry. Oh, Jesus! Yo guys, it is your boy Earnin here, and you are watching FTW. This, of course, the series where I bring to the best and more frequently the worst what football has to offer during the last 7 days. But what's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, the Olympics are firmly underway. The games are underway, the torch has been lit. Snoop Dogg was in charge of it, but unfortunately brought the wrong one. Just like any American when faced with a minor inconvenience though, and a lot of the focus has been on shooting so far. A Turkish 51-year-old Don turned up with no kit and just grabbed silver in his pajamas. This man went to the pub, was munching German doner kebab 4 minutes before kickoff, and came second. The most surprising thing out of all of this though, no medal for the US in this department. Probably because, well, they're all in jail. Speaking of America, and there was gymnastics drama for their women's squad, who were called out as lazy by a former team member, so lazy they then went and won a gold medal. Simone Biles has done it again, testament to how hard she trains. No, trains, lads, not trans. I mean, well, none of you could read yesterday, so I don't know why I expect you to be able to read a simple sentence today either. FTW is getting into the Olympics theme though as well. The footballing world has seen some new competitors in the shooting category. High XG, low reward. Darwin, make the targets that way, you fucking idiot. The on the volleyball category is lacking some quality as well. Meanwhile, there's a new up-and-comer in the fencing. Yeah, so Enzo, obviously, you know, massive congratulations. What are your thoughts on your Copa America win? Mbappe's black. It's a world record response time there from Enzo. That is sensational stuff. One club managing to find themselves in an Olympic-level shambles, though, is Chelsea, who have had a sticky pre-season so far. They drew 2-2 with League One side Wrexham last week, and then got peppered by Scottish champion Celtic this time around. Two sides about the same level overall. Enzo Maresca has, in fact, had an epiphany, realising that his tactics only work against Barnsley away. That genuinely, Chelsea fans are Maresca out already. It's taken 180 minutes. And he's already feeling pretty threatened for his income.
Now I'm panicking. I'm gonna lose my job.
It's just phenomenal stuff. Seeing the cycle start again for the Blues. After looking like things were getting solved under Maurizio Pochettino at the end of last season, we are back where we started once again. Chelsea are so black. Do you not mean back rather than no? That Enzo, he's done it again. Ladies and gentlemen, slap 100 quid on these lot finishing 8th. It's gonna happen.
This was the banker, one that's never failed.
Todd Bowley is in fact devastated, realising he can't just choose players based off their surnames and do well. And speaking of Chelsea players' surnames, it seems like even their commentators are having trouble.
And with all respect to Lavier and Chukwuemeka, yeah, just staying on Madaduki there, it's like Chukwuemeka. Within Cuckoo maybe just playing in front of them guys, Goose. I
can't lie, this is pathetic. Somebody get this man a dictionary or something. Now, in fairness, look, there's lots of time for Enzo Maresca to sort stuff out, but on the off chance this is how they're going to start the season, we're all here for it. There's one thing you can almost guarantee, though, about Chelsea to start the season, and that's that their squad will probably change. They are currently in the process of signing an 8th first-team goalkeeper, a youngster who comes in from Belgium. 8 goalkeepers, what could you possibly need all of them for? Todd's only just found out that he can't play them all at the same time. Their tactics going into next season are going to be an absolute joke. Chelsea's board have only one request for a man when they find a footballer that owns gloves of any kind whatsoever.
Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
How are they still signing players when they've got this many on their books already? Chelsea's squad depth, by the way, as you can see, is kind of like laid out here in pitch form. Can't help but feel this lineup might be a little bit overpowered. This formation would be illegal. One man who could be leaving Chelsea is Conor Gallagher. A man who, of course, came through the academy at Cobham, spent time out on loan and was just starting to cement himself in the middle of the park. Well, allegedly, a deal has been struck for him to go over to Atletico Madrid. I'm really not understanding Chelsea's policy when it comes to selling homegrown players, because obviously you need them, you need a lot of them, for European competition. Maybe they just don't expect themselves to be in Europe, so they don't actually need them. And they've got a good youth academy, all right? Even, you know, you've got people like Alfie Gilchrist who's just come through, but they're trying to get rid of Chalobah and Conor Gallagher. Why would you not keep at least a couple of the first teamers that have actually come through the academy instead of just using the young ones. Where's the logic here? Either way, Conor Gallagher will be doing some light sightseeing in Madrid when he links up with Memphis Depay.
Travelling all day, weather's a bit dead today, but we're still going to smash it in the gym.
Not that he'll want to shake the Dutchman's hand on previous experience. Nah, I'm joking. Obviously, there's the meme about Conor Gallagher, but he ain't racist. His tyres are black. Now, elsewhere in pre-season, Manchester United faced off against Arsenal. It ended with a penalty shootout in which Andre Onana gave us some beautiful content. He was trying to get in the minds of the Gunners' penalty takers, offering them up an entire half of the goal. It didn't work for Gabriel or Fabio Vieira. They both slotted the ball past him in the end. To be honest, he was doing the same for most attackers for the first half of last season anyway.
Ooh, no.
I love the confidence, but he's connected with less balls here than a brick from Southport this week. Arsenal may have been victorious here, but that hasn't stopped the stress that Mikel Arteta is currently going through. He was interviewed about his prospects for the season and what he expected Arsenal to be able to achieve, and genuinely, the man has aged significantly in the off-season. This is what Arteta is going to look like if Man City win the title again.
It's a disgrace.
He's developed arthritis during the summer. The Lego piece hair could well be on the verge of falling out. You know what it is? He's just seen Gabriel Jesus doing shooting drills again.
Favorite goal you scored?
There's not a lot, so...
Jesus! And the Brazilian might have Mikel wanting to turn water into wine. I've got to drink the sorrows away, guys. He can't hit the target for shit. But he is setting his aspirations high in the league, suggesting that if Arsenal want to win the title over Man City and Pep Guardiola, they're going to have to score a maximum of 114 points. 114, you say? Unfortunately for you, Mikel, Manchester City have quite the affinity with 115. And it's only a friendly, but Arsenal's most recent game against Liverpool in pre-season might have given him some extra stress as well, with Fabio Carvalho scoring.
You're alive.
Now, to be fair, he was class last season for Hull on loan. I do hope he gets like an actual chance in the first team this season. Mikel Arteta's age after this game gone up even further. Meanwhile, up the other end of the touchline, Arnie Stott's already got us playing some very nice football. The playing out from the back for one of these goals here was delightful. What genuinely I can't quite believe, though, is how unbelievably shiny this man's head is. You could genuinely use it as a mirror. He'll have Darwin Núñez confused seeing a slightly disfigured version of himself in his own manager's head. And one fan was left in even more of a state than that, as this Gunner supporter came across Ben White outside the stadium.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Look, listen, look, I get being excited, but bursting into tears over Benjamin White.
Check his hard drive.
This is got to be the most normal Arsenal fan for real. You can't cry over Ben White in this economy, man. He doesn't even know why you're crying over him. He doesn't even watch football like that. He doesn't even know he's famous. Even he was baffled. It's just, he clearly gets emotional over everything. The supporter will lose his mind when he sees Cedric Suarez leave the tunnel in front of him. And he'll also be left in tears when Manchester City inevitably do a madness again this season. They've been chilled out in pre-season, no, I can't lie.
No, I am.
They also lost to Celtic like Chelsea did, then lost to AC Milan, the Italians winning 3-2 here, in a game that saw both sides swap shirts at half-time, starting in the home kits and then going into the second half wearing the away strips. An interesting idea, a nice way to show off the kits for, I'm sure, added sales across the world for both teams, but the kit man will be left unimpressed, realising he's got to bring double the shirts on the plane with him. Oh, fuck. That washing machine, wherever they're playing, is at max capacity. Meanwhile, Rihanna was spotted with some of the players. She'd gone to watch the game, clearly from the stands. And don't tell Kyle Walker, he'll be overly excited, realising he can start another family here. AC Milan's Christian Pulisic will be hoping to pull her when he explains just how important he is to the beautiful game.
The LeBron James of soccer.
Meanwhile, ASAP Rocky will be left concerned when he sees Rihanna's been Googling Jack Grealish's calves.
I feel physically sick, literally sick. I could be sick.
Man City did grab a draw versus Barcelona, though, in the most recent of their pre-season friendlies. Didn't stop Pep Guardiola, though, from getting vexed down on the touchline against his former side. I can only imagine he was told that the wing-backs weren't getting inverted. You Beggin. Zlatan Ibrahimovic took the opportunity to rinse Manchester City's fan base beforehand. Meanwhile, when him and Pep Guardiola met down on the pitch, they looked like an ex-couple meeting for the first time in 3 years in the middle of a supermarket. Pep, though, isn't letting that distract him from the task at hand. He's determined to have all of his players back, ready, fit and raring to go ahead of the new Premier League campaign, saying there was no room for any fatties in the dressing room. And with his track record, it's bad news for Calvin Phillips once he sees this quote. On the other side of Manchester, and Lenny Yoro has got off to a a disastrous start at Old Trafford. The young, very promising centre-back obviously came in for a pretty hefty fee from Lille a couple of weeks ago, played in his first unofficial game for the club, was substituted off through injury, left the stadium on crutches, and there is now the confirmation that he'll be out for 3 months immediately after signing. Leave United before United leaves you. The poor guy, he's had his whole career cursed already. I don't know what it is about stepping into Carrington these days. Sir Alex Ferguson left Juju at the club, and I don't even know where he got the qualifications to perform such a thing. Honestly, it's somehow only going to go downhill from here. Gotta put Lenny out of his misery at this point like it's of mice and men. Spare a thought, by the way, for Eric Ten Hag during all of this, when he finds out he's back to choosing between Johnny Evans and Victor Lindelof for a centre-back partnership.
It's like having a choice of two blokes and nick your wife.
And on the topic of Manchester United, their club assistant manager, Steve McLaren, or former one anyway, will not be remaining at Old Trafford because he's taken the vacant job as the Jamaican national team manager.
Wagwan Generals.
What in God's name has happened here? Steve McLaren managing Jamaica, bro. This is a culture clash. They called him Mr. Steven in the tweet, you know. Mikel Antonio will have lost faith in him after one tactical meeting, I'll tell you that for free.
That is some fuck with Steven. Me can't support you no more. Me can't support you no more, Steven.
This is a Watch Mojo top 10 bomber clock moment. Do you think he can actually get these lot on board? Not a chance, bro. He'll be trying to get them involved in some team bonding down on the training ground before realising he can only say 3 words in patois. I have to see his first team talk in charge of these lot. It's gonna be sensational. Steve Bruce was linked with this job originally. That might have been even worse, lads. How's the beer, can you say? I think, honestly, I could not imagine any man out of their natural habitat as much as Steve Bruce walking through Montego Bay. Steve Bruce on the streets of Kingston is a disaster waiting to happen, especially once he sees a few of the women in the local area.
Sexy girl.
Get your mind out the gutter, Steve. Meanwhile, over in Asia, and Tottenham won themselves the J-League World Challenge after victory against Vissel Kobe. You'll never sing that. Harry Kane has left these lot, and now they've won something. And in this game, Heung-min Son scored a beautiful goal captured by a beautiful angle via a body cam of one of his teammates. The most stone-cold Korean shooter since the Olympics. I mentioned Harry Kane, his new side Bayern Munich, their start to pre-season has been less than ideal. They drew with a 4th-tier club, 1-1 this week. That, ladies and gentlemen, is company ball. He is severely underqualified for this job. Let's be 1,000,000% honest here. Maybe a man who got Burnley relegated is not the man for the job. Pep Guardiola will not want to hear back from him when Vincent asks for advice, turning up at the Etihad 2 months into the season.
Oh man, sorry, you got the wrong guy.
Listen,
Hey,
son.
get the fuck away from me, dog.
I don't mean to over-exaggerate and get ahead of myself based on a meaningless pre-season game, but Harold Kane is finished again. Just like Leon Goretzka's hairline over on Instagram. We said last week it was to do with the steroids, alright? But with this start to pre-season, maybe it's just the stress that's causing his hair to fall out. The stress of having to buy so many steroids. I can't lie though, now those are out of his system, he's gonna have a very different presence in the Bayern Munich gym. Elsewhere in Germany, after a legendary career in football, Philipp Lahm is kicking his feet up and becoming an Airbnb host instead. I reckon footballers need to do this a little bit more often, you know. An over the Hilton, if you will. Let's be real, if you end up staying there, he'll just tell you stats about his career the entire time. So there it was, month 13 without me giving away a single foul yet, and then tell you what, I'm gonna fucking double foot you in a second. Bundesliga's Vice side, Hamburg, posted a tweet for National Friendship Day, confessing their love and support for Rangers. Tell you what, a pre-season friendly between those two could get a little bit emotional. Now in Spain, and for some reason, a story that seems to have taken Barcelona by storm is a situation between Lamine Yamal and his girlfriend, where a video apparently surfaced where she was with someone else and cheated on him after his victory at Euro 2024. I mean, he's seemingly already moved on, fair enough. This guy's gonna be regretting it in 15 years when he's won 12 Ballon d'Ors and has a sponsorship deal with FIFA themselves. To be honest, I know I've joked about it a couple of times. Speculation over a kid's dating life is weird, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Then again, if you're a Girona fan, it's absolutely calm because they reckon he's 35.
You look about 30.
His Barca teammate Pedri has got a new look. Yet another one of the players that promised he would change his hairstyle if Spain were victorious at the Euros. He said he would shave his head if they won the tournament overall. Barbers in this country must be raking the money in at this rate. I like like the look, yeah, but it does make him look as if he's about to go on Waluigi settings. This is his alter ego, it's Pedro. Someone said that he looks like an evil Kai Havertz, and I really am hearing it. It's a curse you, Gunnosaurus type of haircut. He's the ultimate Arsenal supervillain. He hates absolutely everything about the club. Only flies Etihad when he's going to the Middle East. Another man that could be joining both Pedri and Yamal at Barcelona is Dani Olmo. He has apparently agreed personal terms with the Catalan side after an extremely impressive Euros campaign. RB Leipzig are looking for £60 million, and Barca will be ready to match the deal, paying £1 every year for 60 million a year. They've almost matched the 50% of RB's demands, let's be real. And look, Leipzig have got Xavi Simons back in again for the season. Their priorities won't be quite as high when Danny comes to them asking for a pay rise to stay.
149, sir.
I've got 50p. Fuck you, bastard.
He's an old school La Masia student, so it'll be nice to see him go back. It's kind of like a wholesome transfer in that sense. The guy probably went to school with Ansu Fati. Ansu, here, Miss Harmony. Nah, it's gone again. It's happened. I can't. Real Madrid now, and Carlo Ancelotti was interviewed about his thoughts for the up-and-coming season with the amount of players they've got. The depth they have, the quality they have in that squad is outrageous. And he reckons certain players will get a little bit of time off for certain games during the season. I know he's old, and I know he's got no tactics yet, but how has Carlo Ancelotti only just discovered player rotation? You know what I was thinking, yeah? Why don't we swap the players out when they get tired during a game? Carlo, do you need, like, medical intervention? Meanwhile, over at Granada, and I'm convinced there is some level of match fixing going on during pre-season. I mean, if there was ever a time to do it, it's probably now. Because this back pass has been played back to Granada's shot stopper, and he has simply moved out of the way of it.
This is corruption. This is a theft.
Meanwhile, Real Valladolid have done something that I don't think I've ever seen on a football kit before, and that is a colour-changing badge, like a reflective one that changes colour based on the direction of the light hitting it. Very innovative. Some creative kits coming about this season, I'm not gonna lie. Over at Como FC, and Pepe Reina has signed for the Italian side. How this man hasn't taken home a pension yet, never mind the fact that he's still a footballer, is beyond me. Meanwhile, Lyon have a new signing, and it's Georgian Euros hero Georges Mikatadze, who was extremely good for Metz last season. His shirt number of choice? 69. This Ligue 1 McDonald's business is not serious. Now that it's time for your goals of the week, we've got some more beautiful strikes for you. First of all, some delicate flair followed by a thunderous finish coming from Cyprus. The ball flipped over the attacker's head and then cracked into the back of the net. Over in the Netherlands, not quite as much flair, more just pummeling the ball as hard as you can from Jens Toonstra of Utrecht, scoring from the halfway line. And finally, take about Mateo Burnbury from Canada, who's watched this ball float into the box. He's had his eyes on it the entire time and brought out a ridiculous acrobatic effort. Now, in terms of Olympics football, things have been a little bit quieter this week. First of all, we had Ashraf Hakimi chasing and following his real dream, becoming a bus driver. Yeah, he was driving the coach home on the way back at night. I didn't know he had a license for that, but I'm not going to snitch. Jose Mourinho will be sending Fenerbahce scouts purely for his car parking purposes. A crazy surprise for Egypt, who managed to beat Spain to win their Olympics group. Yeah, fucking have that, Spain, alright? Slap that on your tapas. Salah plays in the Premier League, so that's technically 2-2 in the Euros final. And finally, shout out to Paraguay for knocking Israel out with 2 late goals. That's it. Just thank you very much for doing us all a good service. Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
Tú nada más así. ¿Abierto? No, tú ahí, deténla. Agárrala así.
And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Now, UEFA have decided that they're going to be changing the way in which the Champions League draw is conducted for next season. There may not be like an actual physical draw that people take out anymore. It might actually be done through software. Whoever PC is in charge of doing that draw is getting assaulted by Hansi Flick when he gets drawn against Bayern Munich, Manchester City, and Inter Milan in the group stages alone. Pep Guardiola will be hacking into the system to ensure that Man City are drawn against Morecambe Town in the round of 16. Honestly, this doesn't feel right. I can't believe that Champions League draw is going to be conducted by randomnamegenerator.com. I can't have this.
The game's gone.
Game's gone. Game's gone.
At Chelsea, on a shoot involving FC24 and EA Sports, Axel Disasi said he was leaving here with something. Meanwhile, they announced their away kit over on Instagram. Chelsea fans cared less about the actual shirt, more the people that were in the shirt, to be honest with you. Chelsea, if you do want to drop the hats though, then let me know. And Spanish left back Marc Cucurella hasn't quite finished rinsing absolutely everything out of his Euros victory, because he's now done an advert with Australia with his song in it again. I'm so sorry, I have to play it again, guys.
Kukureya, Kukureya. He eats paella, he drinks estrella.
I just simply will end myself. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Joachim Andersen might be feeling a similar way after an absolutely shocking error against Morecambe, trying to play out from the back, stepping on the ball and gifting them a goal. He tried to explain himself to Oliver Glasner at full time.
Am I supposed to chase after them? I've got no legs.
So wholesome scenes involving Arsenal. Youngster Josh Nichols, aged 17, made his full debut for the club. Obviously, it's a friendly, so it's not like a professional debut. It was the first time he'd ever played with a senior squad, and his mum was there in the crowd to show her pride at full time. Maybe a little bit less pride going on at West Brom versus Mallorca. Mallorca, by the way, who for some reason organised the most no-nonsense pre-season of all time for a Spanish-based side. Well, things weren't too friendly in their game against the Baggies as just an all-round scrap broke out. And there were similar vibes between Bolton and Fiorentina, where a massive challenge flies in on Moise Keane. Does in fairness get the ball, but Fiorentina players not too pleased. Now over at Shakhtar Donetsk over in Ukraine, and they've got themselves the new Jurgen Klopp, a Kloppelganger, if you will. This is, I refuse to believe they haven't put him through like a 3D printer or something. Shakhtar's manager will be left confused when his physio starts talking about gegenpressing and inverted fullbacks. Meanwhile, over at Feyenoord in the Eredivisie, and we've got the most unique celebration of the season locked in already. In women's football now, and the scoreline when it comes to hair pulling here is at least 1-1. Play on, ref. Intense weather systems aren't going to stop this football match from being played, as there is a quite literal tornado flying down the right-hand side. Tell you what, he's not bad at doing roulettes, is he, that winger? On a random boat somewhere much sunnier than the UK now, and I haven't seen this much tech at sea since Phil Foden's last trip to Portugal. This juggling is outrageous, and then surfing and doing kick-ups and a handstand as well. Yeah, somebody get these lot in a freestyle world championship or just a football club. I don't even care. I'm not picky at the end of the day. Well, at least I'm not doing that dangerous job up in the window from the intro anymore, man. But I still need to text my side ting. Yo, babe, listen, I swear, I'm clean now, genuinely.
El balón para final, decretan fuera de lugar, Marcos enamorado.
Over in Canada, and information has been released suggesting that Canadian national team were using drones as far back as 2019 to try and spy on the US national team before a 4-1 loss. Sending drones to spy on a team only to get clamped is crazy. Also, recording Greg Berhalter's sessions is not necessary. You're not going to learn anything from them. It is a bold strategy, and he is bold. Staying in Canada though now, and this goalkeeper's been done so dirty by the groundsman at this pitch. Now elsewhere, and Project Mbappe is firmly underway, because what in the key stage 0 finishing am I seeing here? This is absolutely ridiculous from a kid of that age. What is going on? Hey, yo, who was that? I know, I swear, in Malaysia now, and I don't know if they're, like, running out of wing-backs, you know, in terms of positionally for the national team, but they might want to start looking at their officials, because this linesman has really put his body on the line to block the winger here. I don't know why. Corruption, surely. In the Czech Republic now, and Slavia Prague have been absolutely gifted a goal here, as a goalkeeper goes to claim it, decides to just slide past the ball, and an empty net is what they receive. Meanwhile, with a pretty poor attempt at a bicycle kick flying in over an MLS football, most defenders thought the ball had gone out of play, only for it to spin back, catch the goalkeeper out, who'd vacated his goal to go and get a new one. Unfortunately for the attacking side, they weren't able to make the most of it. Now there is time for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, it's been a little while since we had a specific Romania segment. Obviously, their season was done a little while ago, like the rest of Europe, but the foolishness has not stopped, and it comes in the form of Rapid Bucharest, where Scottish manager Neil Lennon is at the helm. A man who is obviously, you know, known in the managerial world for taking Celtic to a number of trophies. He's not having such a great time of things in Romania. That is because he could be on the verge of being sacked for urinating on the training ground. Yet clearly at some point he realised he couldn't keep it in, and now the club might be getting him out of there for taking the piss. In Malaysia now, and there's some interesting techniques when it comes to female goalkeeper training over there, just throwing people about. There's been plenty of action going on the pitch this week, but there might be even more going on off it, as this fan in the stands has been distracted, to say the least. In Brazil now, with a free kick getting deflected off the wall, all this goalkeeper's got to do is come and claim it.
Special beyond special.
The poor footballing ability doesn't stop there. Over in Peru, we've got a quite literal kung fu own goal going in. Meanwhile, at #United, and they saw one of the worst offside decisions you're probably ever going to see this week. Don't know how this one wasn't given. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And this time around, we're back to the shambolic defending, alright? And, you know, amateur for a reason. These lot look like a bunch of amateurs. They look like they've never even played football before in their lives. Nobody needs to see these lot at centre-back. Get them out of there. Put them in midfield or something. On to the weird stuff though now. At the Olympics, and representing Zambia, is a very unique and interesting story. It comes in the form of track and field athlete Rachel Nachula, who represented Zambia at Beijing 2008, the Olympics, all the way back 16 years ago. Well, she has returned 16 years later, but not as a track and field athlete. She is coming back, returning for a new challenge, competing in the football on the women's side. A pretty remarkable comeback from her. But finally, we head over to the Italian 3rd Division and Triestina. The Triestina are looking to embark on a new season, alright? They're looking to get their recruitment done. So when Lorenzo Moretti, one of their centre-backs, decided to move to Cremonense, obviously it left a bit of a hole to fill. Now, often a lot, obviously, is made of the replacements for a transfer, a sale in football. It's got to be the exact right match. It's got to be man for man the same individual. Well, Triestina, they took that a little bit too literally. They replaced Lorenzo Moretti with his twin brother. Yep, that is right. Lorenzo's twin is also a centre-back who also plays in Italy, and so their immediate replacement was just to bring in his brother. That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.